The internet is on fire at the moment, is unthinkable, and it's spreading faster than anyone can stop it. Love and hip-hop's calm businessman Kirk Frost got into a vicious, jaw-dropping, career-ending fight, and it wasn't with a stranger. No, it was with someone who was far too close, a fan's friend. The world did not see young Jock coming. The video, what about it? Yes, it is. It isn't cooked. Moreover, it's actually awful. Kirk, who is restrained and shouting something that makes everyone shiver, is seen shouting while Jock lies on the ground, barely conscious. Millions of people have viewed the leaked movie already. Jock's face was bloody. Chairs were turned over. They're running. There is chaos. And from the moment you saw Kirk's face, that look of pure rage, you could tell that something deeper was the root of this. This was not only a fight. It was an individual issue. It was retaliation. However, it gets even more horrific at this point. Sources claim that young Jock is presently in the intensive care unit due to injuries that go beyond a simple bruise. Yes, precisely. Wounds within. The ribs are broken. A jaw crack. Doctors estimate that recovery could take months. Since Kirk is known for avoiding physical drama, you're probably asking yourself, what the hell could have caused all of this? But why would he lose control in this way? What words or deeds would young Jock have done to motivate Kirk to go thus far? All right, buckle up tight. We'll look at the real cause of this explosive eruption, and you'll discover why this is more than simply a dispute. The next explosion is a ticking time bomb that might happen any moment. As they say, there is a price for every friendship in the business world. But when loyalty is betrayed and secrets start to leak forth like blood from an open wound, what happens? Kirk Frost was more than just a co-star with young Jock. They supported each other like brothers in arms during years of turbulent romances, business ventures, on-camera drama, and wild reality TV. Behind the scenes, they clinked glasses, shared cigars, and talked like family. It's difficult to break that kind of tie unless someone pushes it too far. And just that's what happened. It took a while to occur. No one was paying attention to the signs that were all over. Kirk had been slipping away for months. Not as many smiles. Posts ought to be fewer. Be silent at events. He ceased to tag Jock in things, to laugh at his jokes, and most definitely to be present when it counted. Insiders of the show started to notice the shift. Kirk's energy has been off ever since Jock crossed a line with someone close to him. One assistant producer wrote in a direct message that was released. It is not just business. Deeper than that. But no one expected Rashida to be in that line. There were suspicions that Jock was getting too close to Rashida, not physically, but emotionally. He was dragging her away between shoots, checking in on her, and sending her private messages late at night. And one of those messages, it was captured in a screenshot. It touched Kirk. Not in a flirting way. It was not sexual. But there was something. I hope he's treating you right, you deserve better. Or something similar, but enough to make people wonder. Just enough to give Kirk a stomach stab wound. And then the studio incident. Kirk broke up Jock's rambling conversation with a mutual acquaintance while they were both laughing. Clearing up Kirk's mess, and he knows too much are expressed. As soon as he heard his name being called out through the mud, Kirk's signature smirk disappeared. He left quickly. Avoid yelling. Stay out of trouble. Nothing but silence. And after that day, things could not be undone. Jock, though, did not back down. He did, in fact, start to work harder. He was clearly drunk when he went live on Instagram one night and attacked individuals for living a lie for the cameras, fake marriages, and fake friends. For Kirk, the message was clear, but not for the fans. That was Jock's warning. You don't post such a subtle jab unless you're trying to start a discussion. Then the real betrayal took place. A woman Kirk used to know, an old name. He was at a party with a person with whom he had a difficult past. Alongside Jock, hand in hand, it was then. Kirk didn't speak. He did nothing except watch. Eyes locked, rage building. Everyone noticed a change in energy. There were even some who tried to keep him away. It was too late, though. When Jock wound up in the hospital that same night, Kirk had already decided he wasn't going to leave this time. He was going to make sure Jock remembered who he was. He did too, with fists, furiously. Years of anguish exploding at the same time as betrayal. Now, Jock is in a hospital bed and is mute. Calls are not being returned by Kirk's lawyer. Rashida too? The last time she posted was 4 days ago. An event is going to occur. something important, and the battle was just the beginning, if what we've been informed is true. It's a violent video. Much worse than everyone had expected. Loud music, bright lights, and laughter start things off. A few well-known people, including influencers, members of the love and hip-hop community, and other business professionals, surround Joke, who is positioned in the center of the room. Everyone is in a cheerful mood, until Kirk comes in. You can see it in his eyes. He's not there to enjoy himself. He's not even trying to blend in. His jaw and fists are clenched, as if he were battling a storm. Something inside Kirk snapped the second he saw Jock. One person who was there that night claimed, "I have never seen that look on his face, not even on TV. It was genuine loathing." Only a few seconds passed. Kirk walked across the room without trepidation. The music even went on. At first, they thought it was a prank, perhaps one of those staged reality TV stunts. However, as Kirk shoved Jock back and Jock tumbled into the DJ table, it was clear that was not for the cameras. The first blow came quickly. Neat. Directly to Jock's lips. You hear someone screaming. The second one lands, then a third before Jock can raise his hands. Kirk wasn't throwing his hands about angrily. He was swinging like a resentful guy. With every historical punch, nobody could break it up, no matter how hard they tried. They had taken over Kirk. He tackled Jock to the ground, his knees on his chest, and then hammered him mercilessly. Then Jock took one last blow to the ribs and became limp. That's when the video cuts. The terror started then. Phones were stolen. Security moved aside the cameras, but the footage had already been shared, so it was too late. It was leaked in an hour, uploaded to private servers of Discord, discussed in online forums, and then direct to Twitter, TikTok, and blogs. Screenshots started to surface, with some zooming in on Jock's bleeding face and stopping to photograph Kirk's twisted face during a punch. On Twitter, there were numerous threads, with some claiming that had been years in the making, and others concocting wild hypotheses about Rashida, infant mothers, and even old label rivalry. But this is the unanticipated development. This wasn't about Jock and Rashida. Jock was threatening to divulge Kirk's name in a series of since-deleted tweets from an anonymous account posing as Kirk's former assistant. Something that would ruin both his personal and professional lives. The tweet suggested that Jock had proof, but it's unclear exactly what that something was. Kirk was paying to remain silent about a mistress, money laundering, and stolen royalties. At what point did Kirk find out that Jock was going public? To protect the secret, he decided to stop it there. But now, anyway, that secret could come out. Since Jock is unable to speak, someone else has already done so. In a private direct message sent to a gossip blog hours after the brawl, a verified music executive stated, "I warned Kirk months ago. Jock's mouth was going to hurt him, but now it's worse. Lawyers are involved, NDAs are broken, and this will ruin both of them." To make matters worse, Jock's close friend told reporters that Jock had recorded a video message hours prior to the struggle that said, "If anything happens to me tonight, just know I tried to speak my truth." Let that sink in. Jock might have known what happened. What if the tape appeared? Everything changes. Because Kirk wasn't the only thing he was about to reveal, the entire empire they built was on the line. The terrible, dark reality lies behind it. In just a few hours, the internet turns into a battlefield. #Yenjock and #KirkFrost were trending on all major platforms, and not just in the US. TikTokers were breaking down the fight frame by frame, and there were so many complex conspiracy threads on Twitter that they would make your head spin. But what about Instagram? With so many black and white photos of Jock in a hospital bed and captions like "Pray for Jock" or "Kirk went too far," it was difficult to tell if the photos were synthetic intelligence, AI, or real at all. But the most horrifying part was that there was a 13-second audio leak, and the little sound you hear is Jock's breathing difficulties. He slurred his words, but he said, rather clearly, he doesn't want to talk. He just wanted to end me. Then there was silence. That clip was so powerful that fan pages went viral. Sites for rumors hurried. Kirk, too. Hushed. He didn't say anything. No Instagram post, no subtweet, just gone. Meanwhile, industry insiders started to voice their opinions. "We always knew something was off between those two," said an unnamed love and hip-hop producer. However, this went too far. Another said that the network had already rejected future ads that would have included both of them. The celebrities then got involved. Tamar Braxton went live, shaking and crying. In this industry, I have seen fights. Not in this way, though. Acted as a warning to all participants. Don't play with people's feelings. 50 Cent posted the enigmatic comment, "This is why I avoid those reality boys," along with the video. "You're all tinkering with fire." Cardi B said, "If a man ever put his hands on me like that, he wouldn't be breathing," before removing the tweet. Ray J even put it this way, "This isn't TV anymore. This is real life." Joke could have died. The most shocking response, though, Rashida. She finally made her voice heard with a single post. Even though the message only contained one image, an old picture of her and Kirk holding hands, everyone was taken aback. Her words, "Some truths can't stay buried, especially when you use blood to excavate them." She was suspected of concealing something, and the comment section went berserk as others begged her to explain. "Are you the reason this happened?" One fan even wrote, and Rashida responded with a sweet message. A fake page claiming to be a hospital employee posted updates about Jock's condition, claiming he had internal bleeding and would lose vision in one eye. The hospital denied the disclosures, but it was impossible to tell what was real at that point, and the line between reality and fantasy was blurred. In the meantime, Jock's close friend, rapper Scrappy, posted something that seemed more like a threat than encouragement. He then left a location tag behind, leaving fans to speculate about the possibility of retaliation. "You silenced my brother by beating him." But don't assume that we're all quiet either. Would Kirk become the victim? As if the situation couldn't get any more dramatic, screenshots of Kirk's email that were allegedly showing monthly payments to a woman named Consultant B in enormous amounts went viral on Reddit and Twitter. People began to wonder, who is she? Was this the woman Jock was about to reveal? Memoranda like "Confidential, do not divulge." Then a new anonymous Instagram profile named The Real Jock Truth emerged. "The night everything started" is the caption for the original post, which shows Kirk standing outside a motel in a fuzzy image, alone at midnight. She was inside, and underneath it was a chilling statement. "This isn't over. The truth will be revealed." It just happened, but it's not done. In every controversy, with or without Jock, there comes a moment when the discussion stops, the reposts slow down, and everyone starts to hold their breath. It's only the storm's eye. The tale is now shifting, and while Jock lies in the intensive care unit, doped up and being watched, not just by fans or blogs, whispers are becoming louder. Also from those in the industry, those who have been waiting for this moment, and those who have been unwilling to speak until now. An unnamed VH1 source dropped a bombshell on a gossip blog. This wasn't a fight about disrespect. The problem here was exposure. Kirk had been hiding something for years, and Jock had proof, emails, audio recordings, and money transactions. And that night, he told Kirk, "I will come clean if you don't." That was the trigger. The video wasn't just about a fight. It was about a man suppressing a threat. That's how some people now see it. Fans are suddenly divided, and the same people who called Kirk a monster are now wondering what he was trying to defend. The answer? It might be darker than anybody had anticipated, as more voices are coming up now that the conflict has been made public. When Kirk's ex-boyfriend, who had disappeared from the public spotlight more than 6 years ago, suddenly returned, she posted a selfie with no caption, and the only hashtag worth using was #RememberMcKirk. Within minutes, the internet went berserk, and people began connecting. There are layers to the conspiracy now. Could Jock have been hinting at a secret child? Rashida reportedly gave birth to a child around the time she and Kirk were going through it. The child vanished from the public sphere. Some people believe Kirk may have a child. Or, worse, did the attack begin because he had already tried? Then a voicemail came in, a male voice recording a hazy, barely audible tape that was sent anonymously to a podcast host. Emotional. "He threatened to destroy me after I told him that I was tired of covering for him and that I could no longer carry it on my chest." The host claims that young Jock left it 2 weeks ago, before the celebration, before the battle, and before he ended up in a hospital bed. He said, "I'd regret it if I spoke." What if this is true? It changes everything. Suddenly, Kirk is not just a man who loses his temper. He is evasive, a man who protects secrets that are too dangerous to share. Reality show production has halted, sponsors are withdrawing, lawyers are everywhere. And what about both men's careers? Dangling in midair, but perhaps most disturbing of all is a hospital report that was recently published, which states that young Jock's injuries were not simply physical. there is damage to the nervous system, memory loss. He may not even remember the fight, which begs the question, if Jock is unable to tell us what happened, who will tell us? Moreover, who is already attempting to conceal the truth? They thought Jock's silence would keep the truth from coming out, that the conversation would end after one good beating. But no one realized that Jock had been ready for this moment, because the Dropbox link was leaked late last night, just as the story was beginning to calm down, and thousands of people got it through direct message. Twitter didn't have the post, so it was circulated privately to influencers, journalists, and fan accounts who knew exactly how to use it. 2 sound recordings were in the folder. There was only one video in a PDF titled If I Die. Play this. The audio recordings were phone conversations between Jock and someone who was believed to be Kirk's old coworker. On the first call, Jock stated clearly, he has been using ghost LLCs to hide money. He is transferring money to protect someone involved in the baby problem. But the second tape, it's worse. Be cool and collected. Kirk is here. You'll regret it if you let out, he adds. I don't care how long we've been cool. Don't say I didn't warn you, but you have to do what you have to do. The video? A private meeting. Jock's voice can be heard off camera as he records someone providing him documents, such as birth certificates, bank wire transfers, and what looks to be hidden camera footage. One line, though difficult to read, sticks out. This is how he's kept it quiet. This was not intended for you to see. Jock wrote the account by hand, and it details his entire story, including how he found out Kirk had been using money to hush a woman who claims Kirk is the father of her 6-year-old son. But what about the PDF? Jock had everything: evidence, names, dates. Kirk was also accused of intimidating Rashida into silence by saying that if she ever spoke up, everything would be destroyed. He had planned to go public that night, the night he fell out on the floor, but the leak has revealed the truth, and you know what? It's only making things worse because Kirk hasn't denied anything. Rashida removed her prior post. What about the mother with the child? She went live just now, revealing her face. He hasn't commented yet. I remained silent to keep my son safe, she said, her eyes watering. But now, there's nothing left to protect. Her son in her lap. Kirk owns him. Jock is the only one who has stood up for us. She showed a DNA test. Do you want the truth? Unquestionable. Confirmed. Then came the live cutout. The floodgates opened, and now Kirk is being criticized by fans. The same people who defended him are demanding jail time, saying that was a cover-up that escalated into an attack instead of a brawl. What about young Jock? He is still in the hospital, but one of his coworkers posted this enigmatic update. You people thought this was finished? Act 1 was all that was involved. It means only one thing. There will be more in the future. More secrets, extra files, more names. Because when violence is used to try to quiet the truth, it becomes louder. And now, there is no stopping it. Now you've seen it. The conflict, the deceptions, the secrets, and the silence that followed. The video is in front of you. Overheard the audio leak. Looked at the kid. Look over the receipts. And it doesn't end there. We want to hear your thoughts. Did Kirk go too far and never get back up? Or do you think he lost his anger to protect his reputation? Is Jock a victim, or was he playing a dangerous game with information that was too powerful to hold? But what about Rashida? Did she know? Did she remain silent to protect her family or to protect Kirk's lies? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Don't be timid. It's not a single fight, it is a full-fledged war. And I promise you, we're just getting started. Because of part 2, it will come. The emails. The financial route. The woman in the hotel room. Furthermore, there is only one person whose name has not been revealed yet. Subscribe now to make sure you don't miss a single twist. As though Kirk's kingdom were about to fall apart. Please share if you think Jock deserves justice. Furthermore, turn on those notifications since what comes next will make this seem simple. It's not finished yet, is only the beginning. Watch out.